Hello students, welcome to the computer science practical session. I am Kirti from computer science department. In this session we are going to discussing about the practicals. So in practicals we have two parts, that is part A and part B. Part A contains C++ programs and part B contains HTML programs. In part A we have 12 programs. So here is a list of programs and part B contains 2 HTML programs. So in C++ program, the first program is to find the frequency of presence of an element, and the second program is nothing but insertion of an element into an array. Third program is to deletion of an element from an array, and fourth program is for insertion sort. Fifth program is binary search. Sixth program is to find the simple interest, and the seventh program is quadratic equation. Eighth program is function overloading. Ninth program is inline function. 10th program is using constructor, we have written a program, and 11th program is single level inheritance based on inheritance concept, and 12th program is using pointers. So this is about the list of C++ programs. In part B, HTML programs, we have two programs. The first program is to create a study timetable using HTML tags, and the second program is to create a HTML program with table and forms. So this is about the practical programs. When it comes to the practical examination pattern, in the question paper you will be having two questions, one from part A, that is C++ program, and one from part B, that is HTML program. So you have to write both the programs. It's compulsory to write both the programs. When it comes to the marks distribution, for writing of both the programs carries 6 marks each, and for record carries 6 marks. For proper output, that is for the execution of the correct output, it carries 8 marks, and for viva it is 4 marks. So the total marks for your practical examination is 30 marks. So this is about practicals examination. The first program is to find the frequency of presence of an element. So what is the meaning of frequency of presence of an element? It is nothing but counting the occurrence of an element. It is nothing but counting the occurrence of an element. Consider an array contains 2, 3, 1, 5, 2, 4 and 2. So this array A contains 2, 3, 1, 5, 2, 4 and 2 as its array elements. By seeing this, what you can come to know? An element called 2 present 3 times in an array, right? So this is nothing but counting the occurrence of an element in an array. The occurrence of an element 2 is 3. Now let's see the first program, that is write a C++ program to find the frequency of presence of an element in an array. The agenda of this program is to count the occurrence of an element in an array. Consider an example. Array A contains 20, 30, 40, 50 and 20 as its array elements. So these are the array elements. So here what we are doing, By seeing, we can come to know that the presence of an element 20 is 2. It is present twice in an array, right? So that is nothing but counting the occurrence of an element in an array. I am going to count the occurrence of an element 20 in an array. So the occurrence of an element 20 is 2. So for this concept, we are going to write a C++ program. For the detailed explanation of this program, you can refer session 2 of chapter 4, data structures. Now let's see how to execute this C++ program in Turbo C++.
To work C++, first you have to click on DOS box. There you will get a screen. By using menu bar, click File, New option. To enlarge the screen, click here. Then type the program. The first program is to find the frequency of presence of an element in an array. Then start with the header file, that is hash include iostream .h header file. This is a supporting header file for scene as well as cout. Next, write the next header file hash include conio.h. This is a supporting header file for clear screen as well as getch. Next, start with a class. Compulsory try to type the program by using small letter only. Class. The class name here we are given as frequency. Frequency. There, open the flower bracket. There, write down the private data members. Private. Then next you have to put colon. Declare all the variable int a of 10. Each variable is separated by comma operator n. Then element, comma, next count. To store the result, we need one more variable, that is count. To store the result, count variable. Next, in public section, declare the function. The first function is void get data function. To represent function, compulsory to use the regular brackets, then semicolon. When you are writing the statement outside the class, you have to put semicolon. Then next, void. To do the calculation, compute function. Next, to display the result, void display function. Then close the class. To close the class, compulsory after writing the flower bracket, you have to put semicolon. Then next, one by one we have to write all the remaining functions. Void. The class name here we are given as frequency. Then next, scope resolution operator. Get data function. First we are writing the first function. When you want to write the statement of the function, don't put semicolon there. Now open the function cout insertion operator. Inside the double quotes, write down enter array name, array size, then insertion operator, end line. To move the cursor next line, we require end line. Scene extraction operator n. N represent the size of an array. Next, cout insertion operator, insert the double quotes, write in the statement enter array elements. Enter array elements. Then next, for loop, one by one to input the variables we required for loop. For, open the bracket, here declare the variable, that is int I initialize it by 0. Then I is less than n, I plus plus. For loop, don't put semicolon at the end. If you written semicolon, then it will end with a single statement. Then scene extraction operator A of I. A of I, then semicolon. Next, Cart, insertion operator, enter search element. To move the cursor next line, end line. Next, Cin, extraction operator, ELE, that is the search element, then close the function. This is the first function, that is get data function. Next, we will start with the next one, void frequency. Frequency is the class name, frequency, scope resolution operator. Next, we have to type scope resolution operator. The function name is compute. Then here we will open the flower bracket. Here one by one we have to write the statement. Count equals 0. We are initializing it as 0. Next, for int I equals 0. I is less than n. I plus plus. Next, if A of I equals, here double equals we are using to represent, it's a relational operator, right hand side value equals to left hand side value, ELE. If it is matches with the search element, then count has to increment, count equals count plus plus. If you want, you can write count plus plus, otherwise count equals count plus 1 also. If you want, you can write. Then next, close this function. Next, the last function we have to write, that is display function. To write that, void frequency is the class name. Next, scope resolution operator, display function. Display function. Then next here, open the flower bracket. Here I write down the statement of the display function, that is if count is greater than 0, then it has to display the value. Cart, insertion operator, inside the double quotes, frequency of the element has to display here, which is the search element. That element has to be displayed. For the sake, once again, insertion operator, ELE, that is a search element. Then once again, insertion operator, inside the double quotes is. Then display the result, insertion operator, count. Then the else part, if the condition is not satisfied, then it has to display the else part. Else, Cart, insertion operator, display the search element, which is a search element. Then once again, insertion operator, inside the double quotes, does not exist. Then next, close this function, display function, we are closed it. Now we want to write the main program, that is void main, empty parenthesis, then there flower bracket. First create the object of a class. To create the object, once again you need to write the class name, frequency. Then next you have to write the object. For example, on this case I am going to write the object name is F. Clear screen. Then next function, call the function one by one, F dot get data function. Get data function. Next, F dot compute function. Next, F dot display function. Then close the main program which you opened. This is a procedure. First you have to type. Then next you have to save the program before compiling. How to save the file? If you want to save the file, on file menu you have to click. Then if you want, you can click Alt F also, you can press. File, save the program. Otherwise F2 also you can press. There represent the path. For example, in E drive we have created one folder Agile. First mention the drive, then Agile, folder name, then once again reverse slash. Here the program name I am to write experiment. Experiment 1, and compulsory you have to save with the extension .cpp. Otherwise, your program will not work properly. First, you have to mention the drive, then colon, the folder name. Compulsory here you have to use reverse slash. Don't use division slash, reverse slash, experiment name dot cpp. Then press OK command. If it is displaying invalid drive, check where exactly it is present, the folder name. Otherwise, if you want, directly you can save the program. For example, experiment 1, experiment 1 dot cpp. Directly we can able to save the program by file name .cpp. Then press OK. Now we have saved the program. Afterwards, you have to compile the program. To compile the program, Alt C you can press. Otherwise, Alt F9 kuda press madbodu. Directly if you want, you can press Alt F9. Then compile the program. Here we will get the error. Totally in this case, we have 7 errors. To identify the error, press any key. Then here the cursor is displaying somewhere, is it? No. Just in the first line it is displaying, it is identifying get data. Whereas the first error, type name expected. Just see where exactly the name is missing. On that line, the mistake may be on the same line, otherwise above that line, otherwise it may be on below that line. Cursor ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅದರ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಲೈನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಲೈನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Just cross verify. The type name is expected. On that line we have one mistake. On the place of void we have written something else. Just correct that. Void. Then compile the program once again. Once again we have 4 errors. To identify the errors, press any key. Then once again it is displaying statement missing semicolon. ಅಂದರೆ ಸೆಮಿಕೋಲನ್ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೆಮಿಕೋಲನ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಆ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಹಿಂದಗಡೆ ಲೈನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಮುಂದಗಡೆ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಮಿಕೋಲನ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಕರ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿ above that line we have count equals count plus 1 is there, but there we have to put semicolon. Write down semicolon. Next, once again compile the program. Then once again we have 3 errors. To identify that, here function clear CLR SER it is showing should have prototype. Prototype missing andre some supporting files are missing here. Here the function name is clear screen CLR SCR. Here the cursor is pointing here. Here you have to identify CLR SCR, but here we are written. Then once again compile the program. Compile. Then press any key. Once again statement missing semicolon it is displaying. Press enter key. Just see where exactly the cursor is pointing. In the last line it is pointing on that line, otherwise in the above line there may be a mistake of statement missing. Then here for display function write down semicolon. Now once again compile the program. Then here it is 0 error. After correcting all the errors, once again you have to save the file. No need to give once again another name, just file save. Then run the program. To run, control F9 also you can press. Here it is displaying that enter array size. How many elements you want to insert, that size you have to mention. For example, in this case I am entering 5 elements, the array size. But see the difference. Whereas in the previous case enter array size anta heluvaga next line alli cursor point agide. But on this second option enter array elements ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ cursor ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲೇ point ಆಗಿದೆ, because there we are not used endline function. Then enter the array elements. For example 2, 3, 2, 4. Then once again 2 I am going to write. Totally how many elements here we have? Totally 5 elements. Then press enter key. For example, I want to search the element 2. In this case the search element is present totally 3 times. But here we are not getting output. Experiment 1, disk file has changed, reloaded, yes. Yes, once again compile, no error, run the program. Here array size, for example 5, then enter the elements 1, 4, 2, 6, once again 2 I am going to write, search element is 2. The output we are not able to see because at the end we are not used getCH function. If you want to see the result immediately after entering input values, at the end you have to type getCH. Then only you can able to get the result immediately after entering input values. Compile the program, there is no error. Once again run the program. Their array size it is asking. For example, here I written 5. Then enter the values. 5, 2. Here it is taking only 4 elements on the line, but because enter array elements ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಅನ್ನೋದೊಂದು ಬಂದಿದೆ. Just cross verify that, and then 2 does not exist here, it is displaying. Where exactly the mistake is present, see the program. Because in the for loop we are written semicolon. If you write semicolon for loop, we are not going to get any error, but it will take only one iteration. To avoid that, you are not supposed to put any semicolon. If you written semicolon, at the time of compilation you are not going to get any error, but when you are running the program, it will take only one iteration. Now once again compile the program. Before compiling, here also I am going to write enter array elements end line before that. Insertion operator end line. Now compile the program, there is no any error. Then run the program. Here array size I am going to write for example 5. Then elements 2, 4, 2, 5. Any elements you can write. The search element here for example I am going to write 2. Then the frequency of 2 is 3, it is displaying. Now is it clear? Like this you have to perform all the programs. Once again when you press enter key, it will go back to the main program. Now is it clear for all of you? After that you have to press quit. Then exit command.